I'm just going to get right into it because I'm really not happy with my life as a college student. I've never felt particularly motivated regarding my career. I picked it because I thought it was interesting, right? I was curious about how this career will be. I'm a physics student, just in case, but I was curious about how it would be, studying physics compared to physics in high school. And so I was never really super passionate about it. And as I go along, I'm just struggling more and more with just, I don't know, studying and doing everything. And I sat down to, like yesterday to do homework, a particular thing, and I was just like, dude, I really don't like this. I sincerely do not like this. It's weird because I don't know if it's just like a thing of the moment that I'm feeling demotivated right now, and it will fix itself with time. But I've always struggled with this. I hate how tedious it all is for me. That's the thing with me and academic stuff. I'm not like bad at it specifically. I'm not a great student, but mainly because my main problem is the studying and keeping a routine. So I never felt like I was made for academic stuff, even if most people I know tell me I'm very much like an academic, but I don't have the routine or the dedication to like follow through with anything. And I'll explain what I mean by the self-hatred engine. But basically, this has been a constant problem for me since high school. I've always had trouble with like I've always done well basically by sheer luck and the fact that I'm a visual learner. So if you're a visual learner, you passed high school. Sadly, I feel like visual learners kind of have an advantage for high school specifically because of the way shit is. Doesn't mean they're smarter or anything, but in my experience, personal experience in my high school, visual learners, had the advantage because teachers didn't really focus on the other types of learners. But the point is that I've always had this problem with motivation, but because I attribute it to my depression, I know I have a very low self-esteem, and with my depression it just made it worse, right? I was constantly like beating myself over every single thing I did. If I did something, my brain reprimanded me whatever I did, and if I did nothing, then my brain also scolded me for doing nothing. So I constantly hated myself, and there are still aspects of me that I hate, but before it was horrible, right? So most of the time what pushed me was that self-hatred. I bullied myself, and that's how I started doing shit, right? Maybe I had zero motivation for high school, but I told myself like, you're such an idiot, you can do nothing, right? That's what my brain told me constantly. So I was like that depressed voice, that self-hatred voice dragged me into situations. It's like, okay, you need to do this because if not, you're an idiot and you don't deserve to live and all of these things. And it was a very toxic mentality, but sometimes that toxic mentality, forced me to do shit. So that's how I ended up getting into my career. That's how I ended up passing some of my classes, even if some of my classes were hard, at the expense of my mental health. Because the harder the subject was, the harder my brain was pushing me, even though I never wanted to do anything. So that's why I never enjoyed the process, but I still kind of did well. But since I started taking antidepressants, um, shit got better, right? If you haven't watched my last videos, that's fine. I've been taking antidepressants for I don't know how long now, but like more than a couple of months. And now that self-hatred voice, that depression part of me is not completely gone, but that voice that used to judge me in every single action that I did is like not there almost. And I didn't think about this until yesterday, that I was like, dude, that voice that even though I never enjoyed doing anything, and I derived no pleasure from passing my classes or from doing well or from making friends, is not there. And that's the only thing that pushed me, right? It sounds weird, but and now I don't have it, and I feel weirdly lost because I have all this extra energy, right? Because the depression pills that I've taken, I gotten an increase in concentration. I can concentrate much better, which means I can study much better, and also I have more energy. If you don't know how depression works, or if you've never had depression, usually it involves certain constant fatigue. So I was constantly tired, right? And that's why I never went out, and that's why I never did anything. The only thing that pushed me to go out or like study was that self-hatred voice. But now I have a bunch of energy, right? I have a bunch of energy, but I don't have the motivation to use that energy. So even though my mind is in a better place compared to when I started this channel, now I feel like I lack direction. I lack direction, and I lack motivation, because my only motivation was through a toxic mentality. And now that toxic mentality is not as strong, I don't know what to do. I know I've rambled a lot during this video, but I just wanted you to kind of understand the context. And I don't know what to do, because that little toxic part of my brain told me like, hey, stop taking those pills, right? Stop taking those pills, because if the problem is the toxic mentality, is that depression, then if you stop taking the pills, you'll get what used to push you, but in exchange of my mental health. And I almost did it. Today I was like, I'm not going to take them, but then I remembered when I got withdrawal, and that sucked. And also the fact that my best friend sometimes did that, and recording these sort of videos helps to like keep me on check. Because I know like a couple of videos ago, I was like, hey, dude, trust the process. Take the pills, don't drop them, and all of that. So I will feel like a hypocrite if I stop taking them. That's why I like this channel. Even if I don't know if people are watching this or not, because I don't check that. The point is that I'm scared. I'm scared because I don't know what to do. I feel like regardless of where I go, I'll still have this problem. I don't know where to go. I just lack the motivation to do shit. Because I've considered a bunch of options. I enjoy physics, I enjoy books, so I could also get into that. Regarding physics, I could also get into engineering or something like that. YouTube, I've considered it. I really enjoy not just like these types of videos that are just me rambling, first take and all, but other types of videos, different types of videos about things that interest me outside of this channel. And I've done those videos and I really enjoy it. But first off, I'm not dropping out of college to pursue that, because I will have to already, kind of have established myself as something. I don't know if I'm an academic, but neither do I know if I'm an entertainer. This is one of the few constant things that I've done, this channel. And where am I going to go? Because when you have I guess such low self-esteem as in my case, I'm self-conscious about it. I'm really trying to push through it, but it's difficult to just fix the fact that I see all these motivated people. I see like the path ahead of me, and I just feel intimidated. I just think maybe it's not for me. The only example I can give is through a poem that I read called The Average. There's a collection of poems, like 20 something, made by this dude called W.H. Auden. The collection of poems is called The Quest. And within The Quest, there is a certain poem that is The Average. It's a story of this kid whose parents like worked their asses off to give their son a better life, and basically make what was very difficult for them very easy for him. And so this kid, like, admired his parents and all, and he thought about that, the pressure. If you read it, you'll understand what I mean, but like, the pressure of his parents' ambition pushed him. He was a very like low-key sort of person, but thinking about the ambition of his parents pushed him, and he was like, dude, I need something bigger, right? My parents made all of this effort, like, I cannot just be someone else. I have to become a hero. I have to become something. I have to become someone. And so he adventured, basically, and the poem is very okay, but I feel like it's very relevant to what I'm trying to say. The point is that this dude went, he started the quest, and at some point he that's what happens in the poem. He gets intimidated. In the words of the poem, he saw the shadow of an average man attempting the exceptional and ran. And I don't know, that's kind of what I feel is happening to me. I know we got into nerdy territory with the whole poem thing, but I really feel that's kind of what happened to me. Like, I don't know, I'm kind of a low-key person. I don't really see myself becoming anyone. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but it's just difficult for me to, I don't know, imagine all of, like, a version of myself with that much ambition and that much push to do things. I just kind of want to enjoy things, and just go wherever life takes me. And it's hard for me to just go where life takes me if I always have that pressure. So I'm going to have to manage that self-hatred engine I was talking about and having to live without it. But that's all that I want to talk about. I know this was a really long video, but it's kind of hard for me to concisely form my thoughts about it. So I know I rambled a lot, but I don't know. Maybe you find some value in what I said. Maybe you relate, or maybe if you don't relate, maybe now you understand someone else's perspective. I was going to say I hope you have a nice day. I will surely hope you have a nice day. And by the way, I didn't realize that was like my outro sort of thing until like 4 videos in. I was like, damn, I keep saying that. So now it's, I guess, just the thing I do. But I like it. It gives me a certain, I don't know, a certain feeling of routine. And I know I said that I hate routines, but for this channel, I kind of like it. But yeah, I was going to say that, but if I'm honest, today I kind of have a shit day. Well, I look forward to tomorrow. But I hope you have a nice day, even though mine wasn't really the best.